David Orr said that if our industrial civilization were entered into an intergalactic design competition, that we would be thrown out in the qualifying round. So he is calling our entire civilization one single design problem, and therefore I think we can have one solution. So it seems that most of us believe that it's social innovation because millions of people are out there trying to change the world, and they're doing everything from individual initiatives to end poverty to helping people who are prone to hangnails. Communication is a huge part of it. Communication is actually more important than technology, more important than funding. And communication is actually how ideas become visions, and visions become the ways that communities are formed. But it isn't communication the way we do it now, because all we do is blather on to each other, and we only talk to people who already agree with what it is we're going to say. Like fly fishers, we cast images in front of ourselves and then slowly reel ourselves into them, turning them into reality. So we use communication to create these images, and then we make them real. So if you accept that communication is key to the future, then it follows that our past communication got us where we are today. So the way that we framed ideas, the way that we defined our relationships to each other and to nature are the reality that we're living in now. In the Middle Ages, people didn't even have last names. And when soldiers went to war, they would not be able to get back home because they couldn't tell people where they live because villages had no names. So this was a time with no labels. So if you compare that to all the labels we have now and all the silos and all the distinctions we make between each other, you can see how this begins to create separateness. And we create these distinctions and then we judge. I run the risk of insulting everyone now, but the world of acronyms that we live in are substitutes for substitutions, and there's absolutely no humanity or no emotion possible. So in the interest of efficiency, we're murdering language. Even our words have become a set of silos, and they're containers that separate one thing from another. So the difference we don't know between human and nature, between business and life, between good and what the hell is green now and real. So disintegration is this human habit we have of creating arbitrary boundaries between things and then using them to separate us and using them to judge and then compete. So you ask, so somebody took Socrates out and sat him under a tree and asked him why he didn't do that more. And he said, "You must forgive me, my dear friend. I'm a lover of learning, and trees and open country won't teach me anything, whereas men in the town do." So imagine if we'd actually started learning from nature a long time ago. So you ask, is it integration, and is this the single answer? It's getting very close, because as we start to understand, as we start to see through all of these arbitrary boundaries and understand that we have more in common than we don't, that's what gets important. Integration is feminine. Women are born to integrate. We communicate to form relationships. In a crisis, men will run off and be by themselves, and women gather and support the community. Nature's the ultimate example of integration. There are no silos, there are no labels, there are no boundaries, and it's a completely fluid and open and resilient system that we need to emulate. So, who's going to lead the way to using feminine energy and reconnecting us to the living systems of nature? Who might that be? Who's ready to step up? I don't think it should be the people who got us here in the first place. I think you skipped one. I think you skipped the answer. So if you figured out that women are the single answer to all the world's problems, that's brilliant, because it is our destiny, it's our strength, and it's up to us to help people see that what we have in common is much more important than how we're different. I would say, as a piece of advice, this is not about creating separateness between us and men. It's about loving men even more and helping them see what we have in common. So if any of this made sense or ignited you, check out our new master's program at SVA on Design for Social Innovation, or come to PopTech. So I thank you, and if I had another 5 minutes, I would tell you what the single answer for men is.